Yes, people, this is your girl Aleisha Lee and welcome back to another episode of Aleisha Lee Reviews. In this episode, we will be reviewing the penultimate episode of The Boys, Season 4, Episode 7, The Insider. Let's get into this.
Hit that subscribe button.
We kick this episode off with Ryan. He is filming for a show. It's a puppet show. It's given like Sesame Street, but I guess Vaught's version of it. And this is where he is speaking to the A-Train puppet. A-Train puppet is encouraging the kids to basically tell on their parents. And this is where Ryan is like, cut. He speaks to the director and the director lets him know that the script was personally approved by his father, Homelander. Now we're at the Vault Tower. We can see that Ashley, Firecracker and Homelander are having a meeting. Now, Sage, she comes in. She thought the meeting started at 11, but Firecracker lets her know that they've moved it up earlier. Ashley is speaking about NFTs and that's when Homelander is like, Ashley, get out. Homelander lets Sage know that there was a leak at Tech Nights. Now, she knows who the leak is, but she is not going to give that information up just yet. But this is where Homelander and Firecracker start to drill in on her. They let her know that they will be finding the leak, i.e. they don't need Sage to help them with finding out who it is. You can see that Firecracker's milk has got Homelander doing the most already. Homelander tells Sage to make sure that the shooter is ready on the 6th. We can see that A-Train was listening in and heard the conversation. Now we are with the Deep. He is with his octopus bae Ambrosius and they are having a moment. This is where they are interrupted by a text message from Sage to the Deep. He jumps up without no hesitation and he puts Ambrosius back in her tank. She even says to him that she was meant to be moving location so that she's not in the closet anymore, but no, the Deep, he has not got time for her at the moment. Annie is speaking to her mum, letting her know that she is going to have to leave town for a while. Annie's mum is clearly not happy with this and she also lets her know that people have been gossiping. She also lets the cat out of the bag that Huey kept her Starlight costume and Annie, she can't stand the sight of it. Huey explains that he thought that she might want it in the future, but Annie does not like it. A-Train is surveilling Sage. She is meeting up with someone that they think could be a possible lead. This is where he passes this information on to MM and MM lets the boys know. This is when we see Butcher. He looks terrible. He drops the bomb that Samir has been cooking up the virus for him. You know that everybody is shocked. They are in disbelief and this is when Huey realizes that Butcher cut off his leg. The boys can't believe what they're hearing. Butcher is talking about Soup suicide, but this is where he says he is telling them this because he does not want all of this blood on his hands. And this is where he has come up with an idea that Samir will need some help to create this virus. This is where we see Frenchie. Yes, Frenchie is back and out of jail. Butcher lets the squad know that he had Mallory pull a few strings to get Frenchie out. Back at the Vault Tower, we can see that Ryan is looking at his Christmas gifts and there's one gift in particular that sticks out. He knows that this is from Butcher. It's a picture with Butcher and his mum. Back with the boys, MM lets the squad know that he is going to be falling back. Due to everything that is going on with his health, it is just too much for him at the moment and he even wants to reinstate Butcher as lead of the boys. You know Starlight is not feeling this one bit, but MM is insistent that this is for the best, especially for his health. Monique pays MM a visit and this is where he gives her tickets and money to get gone and go to Belize. He lets her know that it is temporary, but he just needs for her and Janine to be safe. Monique gives Marvin a well-deserved kiss. This guy's been going through it and she says to him that she understands how hard he has been working to provide and protect her and Janine. She even encourages him to go with them because he's done all of this. It must be really serious, so he should come along with them. Ashley is watching the news bulletin that Cameron Coleman, he has passed away. Now, they've spun it that he has passed away from a brain aneurysm due to the flu vaccination, but we know what really happened. Ashley, you can see that she is feeling the guilt from her actions. We all know that she is the one that set Cameron up. A-Train comes to visit, asking where her assistant is, and she lets him know that she fired him. She wanted to get him away from this place. A lot is going on. She is feeling that guilt. A-Train tries to reassure her, but doing that saved her life, but she says she could have done it another way. A-Train lets her know that they know that Cameron was not the leak. Ashley is frantic. She talks about running away, but A-Train, he tries to calm her down and lets her know that both of their lives are in her hands. She needs to hold it down. We are with Butcher, Huey and Annie. They are on a mission looking for that shooter. This is where we see Butcher and Kesler are having another chat. Kesler, he is trying to really get into Butcher's brain, and he tries to say to him that he doesn't care that much about Becca's honor because he cheated on Becca. Now, Butcher, he is getting riled up by Kesler, and you can see that Kesler is really trying to get on his bad side. The guys are in the apartment looking for the shooter. That is where they come across some Secret Service files, letting them know that this is a plan. There is a stage plan to assassinate Singer. This is where they hear a noise and they go to investigate. They find a woman who is hiding in a cupboard. She lets them know that someone killed her husband and they've held her captive. Just as she is about to get help from Starlight, this is where we see her push Starlight out the way, slash Huey and make a run for it. She is running, and this is where they see some blood. Huey even slips on it, and this is where they realize that this is the shooter. This is the shapeshifter. They run after her, but she is lost in the crowd. And remember, she could be anyone. Now we are with MM and vroom, we see A-Train is here as well. He noticed that MM was missing at the mission, so he is investigating to find out why. He talks to MM and he's seeing that MM is making plans to go with Monique and Janine, but A-Train has to let him know, no, that is not going to happen because you are the one that convinced me, so you need to stay and fight too. A-Train lets him know about the boy that he saw at the hospital, saying that smile from that boy, it made him feel better than anything he has ever done at Vault. MM lets A-Train know that he has seen the effects of Vault. It killed his grandfather, it killed his father, and now it's starting to kill him. All he has left is his family. This is where A-Train makes a good point. He says that, do you think that Vault, Homelander, this will not follow your family to Belize? Now we are with Frenchie, Samir and Kimiko. Frenchie is dropping some food to Samir, and this is where they are talking about Butcher. Samir lets Frenchie know that Butcher was talking to people that weren't there. Frenchie, you know he's concerned, but he plays it off. Now we are with Homelander. He is leaving a message for Ryan, insisting that he does the show, do it for him. But didn't we just see that you said that Ryan can do what he wants, but now it's do it for... Anyway, this is where we see he is meeting up with Firecracker and they are about to interrogate Webweaver. Webweaver is nervous. He is webbing up the place. Ugh, yuck. Homelander is trying to ask him questions about Butcher. Now Webweaver, he is scared. He is just going to tell them whatever they want to hear, even if it is at his own detriment. And yes, it is, because this is where Homelander, he rips Webweaver apart. It is absolutely despicable. Firecracker, she is in absolute shock and disbelief. This is your leader, Firecracker. This is what you like. Now we are with Kimiko and Frenchie and they are having a moment. They are finally having a chance to clear the air. Kimiko lets Frenchie know about her past as well, because he is feeling so guilty about what he's done in the past, but he needs to understand that she's done things in the past as well, and it doesn't take away from what they have. In fact, they can use these experiences to help and support each other going forward. Now we are with the Deep and Ambrosius. She is asking him for her favorite snack, but he is not giving her that. This is where she has to have a word, and she says to him that she knows about Sage. She can sense and feel how he's been treating her. Ambrosius lets him know that Sage does not care about him the way that she does. And the Deep, he tried to deny it, but obviously she can tell that he has been all over Sage because she can smell her all over him. Ambrosius is letting the Deep know that Sage is just using him and he cannot take it. This is where he smashes her tank. Oh, the love of his life, Octopus Bay? No, the Deep is letting Ambrosius suffocate. She cannot breathe. She needs her water, and the Deep, he is just sitting on the ground, leaving her to die. Ambrosius screams out one more time to Kevin, but he's frozen. He does not do it. You can just see that now there is a shift in the Deep. Homelander is talking to him and he is completely zoned out. He's thinking about everything that just happened. But as he snaps out of it, he lets Homelander know that he is willing to do whatever Homelander says. Now we're with Victoria Newman. She is packing up and getting ready to leave. That is when we see Victoria has got a visitor, and that is Huey. Now remember, at one point these two were actually close. Huey was working for Victoria Newman's team, but obviously a lot has happened since then. This is where he is pleading to her to try and figure it out. They can't just let things end this way. Back at the office, we see that Annie and Butcher have entered the building to be greeted by the Deep. Annie questions him, what the hell is he doing here? And this is where we see that they have been sent here by Homelander to get rid of them. We also see that Black Noir is in the building. The Deep has a few choice words for Annie before they get into it. He throws a blow, and this is where the tussle begins. Whilst Annie and the Deep are going for it, we can see that Butcher is trying to get rid of Black Noir. And this is where, during battle, Black Noir falls asleep. Yes, he is narcoleptic. We saw that in a previous episode. He fell asleep in the meeting. This is a bonus for Butcher because Black Noir, he is looking very tough. Just as Butcher is about to get the big artillery out, no, Black Noir, he's awake and he throws Butcher. This is where we see that things are not looking good for Butcher or Annie. The Deep is just about to end her until... Yes, A-Train comes in to save the day. This is where the Deep and Black Noir realize that A-Train is the leak. And he also notices that Black Noir, yes, he speaks. Black Noir, he is about to end Butcher, but no, that is where we see MM comes in and sprays the flying Black Noir out of there. This is where we see the Deep and A-Train. They are getting ready to go at it. And it's a tag team thing because once A-Train is done with him, we see Annie come in to take over and she gives the Deep good ones. A-Train is looking much better on the boys' team. A-Train goes back for Ashley and tells her now is the time for them to go. Everyone knows that he is the leak, but this is where Ashley, she declines, and A-Train, he's in shock because he thought that that is what she wanted to do. She was the one talking about Florence, but Ashley isn't going to go. Before A-Train goes, she does remind him to remove his chip. Now we are at the pub with Butcher, MM and Annie. They are having a drink after a terrible long day. And this is where Butcher is questioning MM. What is he going to do? Is he going to stay or is he going to go? And MM is sick of Butcher. He heads out. This is where Annie asks Butcher, who is Kesler? Butcher was calling out to Kesler when they were back at the office and they were in trouble. He was calling out to Kesler to do that thing he done when he was with Ezekiel. And Annie wants to know more. During their chat, we see that a fan wants to take a picture with Starlight. Butcher denies everything and he says he doesn't know what Annie is talking about. MM lets Monique know that he is not going to make it. Maybe one day they will be together. He has always prayed for them to be a family again. Now we are at the Vought Tower and we can see that Homelander, He's crying. He can't believe that A-Train was the leak. Firecracker tries to console him and lets him know that A-Train's tracker is out and they can't find his family. This is where we see Sage come in, and she is shocked to find out that Webweaver is dead because they thought he was the leak. And she also lets them know that she was aware that A-Train was the leak and he has been the perfect misinformation delivery person that they've had. He has been feeding back all the information that Sage does want Butcher and the team to know. Homelander tells Sage to go. She is in shock because she said that this was all a part of the plan. She thought that Homelander would listen to her. She's lucky that he is not sending her back in a bucket. Before Sage leaves, she lets him know that there is one person that he will never be able to defeat, and good luck without her. Before she left, she did throw her notes that happened to be in a Maeve notebook. Black Noir and the Deep are back from their beatdown from the boys, and this is where Sage walks past them. They ask what's going on and she lets them know that she has been fired. This is where we also discover that Noir has been seeing Sage as well. Sage, girl. The Deep says to Black Noir, you've been lobotomizing her too. And the Black Noir's like, what are you talking about? Oh, see? Ambrosius was right, yeah? And look what you go and do to Octopus Bay for Sage. Now we are back with Samir, Kamiko and Frenchie. Samir thinks that the idea Frenchie had is actually worked and has made the virus work. Frenchie discusses that they will need to test it, and Samir has other ideas of how they are going to test it because he injects Kamiko's leg. This is his opportunity to escape. Thanks to Frenchie's quick thinking, they remove Kamiko's infected leg. Now we see the rest of the squad are here and they are looking at the leg. This is good for the boys because at least they've got some of the virus within that leg that they could possibly extract. Now, while Kamiko was sitting down, all we see was a little baby leg. Oh, Kamiko. We've seen her with baby arm. Now we've seen her with baby leg. This is where the voice of reason, MM, comes in to let them know that they have done so much with little and they're not going to let anything happen to the president. Now we are back with Ryan on the Christmas special show and he is listening to the message his dad sent. You can tell by Ryan's face, he's like, is this man serious? Is he for real? Didn't he just say he's going to listen to me and now this is what he wants me to do? Butcher is watching Ryan's live show whilst at the pub, and this is where we can see that Ryan, he's had enough. He tells everyone to stop. This is where Ashley tries to get the director to cut to commercial, but Ryan says no. We can see Ryan then goes on to speak about his mum Becca, and he also mentions Butcher. And you saw Homelander, he flinched when his son mentioned that Homelander is watching this live too. Butcher says to Kesler, this is why he has faith in the kid. But just as he says that, Butcher collapses. Kesler, he's looking at Butcher like, you think you don't need me? Yes, you do. You're a mess. And that is where someone comes to Butcher's aid. Now we are at home with Annie and Huey, and Annie is wearing her costume. Yeah, she's wearing her Starlight costume, and this is where the two, they start to have some fun time. As Huey is sleeping, Annie goes to the safe and she takes out Huey's laptop. This is where we see, that ain't Annie, that is the switcher, that is the body snatcher, that is not Annie. We can see that Annie is being held captive in some dingy place somewhere. She can see the skin of the fan that asked her for a photograph, and she's having these flashbacks of what really happened. Yes, the shapeshifter is with Huey and he tries to escape from the chains, but those look pretty secure. And remember, she doesn't have her powers at the moment either. And that is where the episode ends. Oh my goodness, it is getting technical. So we've got the shapeshifter now in Huey's house, and she is going to remove that evidence. She's going to destroy that evidence that they have. Annie is imprisoned. Butcher, is he going to be okay? He has not got long at all. This is terrible. Poor Kamiko with her infected leg, but at least she's got a new leg growing. I am going to give this episode 10 10 boys out of 10. I thought this episode from start to finish was on 100. A lot going on. We had that scene with the Deep and Black Noir as well, and them also finding out that they've got more in common. Yes, Sage. This is a crazy, crazy episode. Sage getting fired by Homelander as well. And Homelander, you saw how he dealt with Webweaver. Wow. We have got one more episode left. Let me know your thoughts about this episode. How many boys out of 10 would you give it? Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you are notified when the final episode is up. Boy, I will catch you in the next The Boys review. Dunno, boy.